Like, I've never covered anything like this before. This is so crazy.
This is crazy.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Hello, everybody.
I'm Grace.
I'm Mamrie, and today this might get investigated. Investigative reporting is like the jam on YouTube right now.
It's really huge. I mean, Shane Dawson is really ushering this brand new wave of content, which I'm a big fan of.
I love it. I find it very intriguing. I feel like it's YouTube's Dateline.
And from someone on the inside.
Exactly.
Someone that's made his whole career off this platform, not knowing what he was doing when he first started.
What I love, and Shane is a friend of ours, I love how he's pretty much reinvented himself on a platform that feels like people never let you change. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Cut to a year ago, he was doing more things like eating crazy stuff challenges and making weird things. And now he's kind of like the go-to voice on YouTube for doing these exposés on people. It's kind of rad.
Yeah, these docu-series. We just watched the first episode of his new Jake Paul, Inside the Mind of Jake Paul docu-series. We want to talk a little bit about our first impressions, what we think about this genre overall, and how it affects us.
Out of the gate.
Yeah.
What are your impressions of Jake Paul? Do you know Jake Paul? What's the deal?
I don't know him. I thought this was very ambitious of Shane to do something like this. I'm fascinated by it. It's something I'm curious about, this persona that has, taken off on YouTube in so many different ways. It makes me frustrated because I only see it from the outside and get, my immediate reaction is like, this is a problematic person on a platform that I hold near and dear to my heart. And so you don't really know what's happening on the inside.
Do you know the one time I interacted with Jake Paul?
I do not.
The day that I flew to Portugal.
Okay.
Because I was going to, I thought, be on a panel for like a convention. When I got there, it turns out I wasn't on the panel. I was moderating Jake Paul and Alfie Day's Pointless blog, and I had to have an hour worth of material prepped that I didn't have in front of 15,000 people. Not only that, it was the morning Trump got elected. So I'm sitting there talking to Jake Paul, and they're like complaining about how hard it is to be on Instagram and YouTube and all this, as I'm sitting there fully clenched because Trump just became president.
Wow, that's an intense experience.
Yeah, I mean, neither of them were really concerned about the election whatsoever, and I was a little distracted. I've never had like a real first impression of him because I was crazy.
Yeah.
But based on what I know online, he's a little punk-ass bitch.
That's the scientific definition of a Paul brother. But Shane's documentary is like diving into, is this person really like this? Do they even know that they're problematic? Do they have a willingness to change? Is it people around them that are causing this and this is the effect? Or is it just like they're a bad seed and they're kind of a piece of shit sociopath that's never gonna change because they don't have real human compassion or empathy?
Even though I'm a YouTuber, I'm not a sociopath because I have a dog.
Oh, you have, compassion and care for another creature. Here's part of this documentary that we've seen so far, that there's a big conspiracy theory, Team 10. These are his housemates, his quote friends. We don't know. Are they being paid? Is this all an illusion? What is happening?
Speaking on behalf of the people who aren't as in tune to YouTube.
Adults.
Adults.
Okay.
Team 10 is like a fraternity. Like everyone, they lived in the same house and they all created content together and it became this like Mickey Mouse Club.
I was gonna say Mickey Mouse Club, and then none of the kids took their Ritalin all day.
Well, the conspiracy is that you had to pay to be on Team 10.
Right.
And not just like rent to live in the house, but you basically paid to get access to Jake Paul and the other people so that you could be popular.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Jake Paul takes a percentage of any digital earnings that you make over like 5 years. He takes 20%.
20% in 5 years. Yikes.
No.
Nope. I have a problem giving my manager 20%.
I know, right? And they actually work for us.
They know what they're doing.
You pay 20%, I only pay 10%.
I don't think so.
Okay,
no.
good.
Yeah.
The next few installments, which we haven't seen, you might have, explores whether Jake is the same person on camera as he is off camera, which I feel is something that Shane has been doing really well. Like his first series was with the Graveyard Girl,
with Graveyard Girl, with Bunny. She was kind of this like wonderful weirdo, but that still loved to do like full faces of makeup, but still feels like a real person. But then cut to the Shane Dawson docu-series. Turns out Bunny's been hiding a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
Oh, Bunny's got a little rabbit hole where she keeps all her money.
Yeah. We have thoughts and feelings about the Jake Paul series, but let's see what the internet's saying.
Oh, they always have something to say.
Peyton Sid says, 5 minutes in and I already understand the guy better. I would always hate, but I'm honestly giving this series and Jake Paul a chance. Hey, guy is clearly having a mind battle with himself, and I think that we should at least give him a chance to justify himself. Thank you.
I don't agree.
Okay, next comment.
Bria said, I just finished watching it and I don't know why people are against Shane doing this. This gives us the chance to see who Jake really is because just like me, a lot of people hate Jake and I want to know why he's like that. All right. I agree. I think it's great for Shane to do this.
Yeah.
And like Jake is very young, so hopefully he'll change.
Yeah.
But
it's also just a risk in him doing this series because he can't control the outcome.
That's
He's
true.
taking a gamble on like investigating this thing with no guarantee that it's gonna end up one way or another.
oh, and because in that first episode that we watched, Jake is giving him a voicemail saying how much he trusts him and that he wants to make sure that Shane is safe and that Shane doesn't get backlash.
Yeah.
But then is Shane secretly going to expose him to be even worse than we know?
There's so many question marks around this. Emma Bacon says, I love what you do, Shane, but sometimes it comes across as acting when you say you're nervous or anxious about something that's gonna happen because the editing gets all dramatic and scary and it makes it seem less real. And I know your interviews or feelings are real, and I'd love to see more realistic editing based on your more serious videos.
You want the dramatic editing and the scary music. I understand it's a little heavy-handed, but like that's what keeps you interesting.
It gives it entertainment value.
Anything changes with dramatic music and ambiance. Like, okay, like, and this might get investigated. Now do that again, but add scary music, slow it down, and bring down the lighting.
And like a big ding and like a smash into Mamrie.
And this might get
Investigated.
Ding.
spooky.
Wow.
Very crazy.
Very dramatic. That's incredible. So here's what you guys were saying about the Graveyard Girl series. I learned more about Bunny in this 30-minute video than I have for the last 8 years that I've been watching her, which I think is a big takeaway for people to feel like they're a lot closer to her as a real human being.
I agree. And Gypsy Danger says, I respect how modest Bunny is, but the poor girl shouldn't be afraid to show what she's earned. She worked her ass off. We support you. See, I think that's a difficult thing is she doesn't want people to feel like she's lost touch with the common folk now that she's made a bunch of money, but also like, girl, you earned it.
Also, that mansion that she lives in, nuts.
It is nuts. She has like $1 million, right? It did feel the first episode was a little bit of cribs.
Yeah.
But it was like creepy cribs and just being like.
Okay, we went from Graveyard Girl to Tanacon. This one, obviously, it was not a planned docu-series for Shane. I feel like this was almost started out as him being part of something that failed and not doing the research before being part of it and now feeling obligated to help figure out how to get the dust to settle.
It kind of landed in his lap, whether he liked it or not.
Yeah, and so I have mixed feelings about this one. I was fascinated by it, but I do think, and I know a lot of people had the criticism that he was a little too sweet and sensitive and, I don't know, caring to Tana and a little less like tough love scenario. Are you sipping tea?
I am.
Okay. I'm not the only one that felt that way. And he even says that in the Jake Paul one, that he knows that he in the past was a little too forgiving, I guess.
Yeah, well, Tana was a blubbering mess. And so it's really hard if they were friends before.
Yeah.
If it was just a regular interview and, you know, they'd never met, you could separate those emotions. But for him, he was seeing his friend hurt, even though it was like.
But also, I don't know, and maybe I missed it, which is obviously possible, that I don't know what the closure was on that series. Did people get their money back?
Hell no.
Well, then that's a bummer. But let's see what the internet said about it.
Olivia Henderson says, the little things that Michael did during the interview, like hitting his vape casually and replying to texts on his phone blatantly, just shows that he could care less about us. All he cared about was a ching-a-ching.
Wow.
Michael is the guy who looked like Tyler Oakley that was on a Segway.
Yeah.
And the big conspiracy was, did he know it was going to fail and he was just taking kids' money?
Right, and then he goes through a really intense moment where he said all of his money's on the line, so why would he want it to fail? His whole like livelihood and reputation is all wrapped up in that. There's a lot of still question marks for me about that series. And then there's Jeffree Star. Opposite of the Bunny Graveyard Girl series, Jeffree is someone that really showcases how much money he's made and showcases how hard he works.
Yeah, Shane went into Jeffree's house and it was like a dream Barbie house. I don't even know how to describe that aesthetic.
Yeah, I didn't know much about Jeffree Star as an internet personality. I didn't watch a ton of his stuff beforehand. I just kind of knew him, I guess, as the cliche, like slightly unapproachable, like harsh kind of person that worked really hard. I didn't know he had a whole MySpace music career.
Me either.
Yeah, all of that was fascinating.
I didn't know anything. So I went in with very open eyes, open arms, open hearts because I haven't seen any of the controversy.
Right.
And I thought he came off really sweet.
Yeah.
Am I gonna get hate for that? I don't know.
No, I think it was interesting to see his factory that he makes his makeup in and how elaborate his whole operation is. Blew my mind that it's like, yeah, of course he's earned this.
Well, I will say though, about the controversy for some of the like awful things he said.
Yeah.
He like confronted them head on.
Yeah.
As opposed to like Jake Paul and people like just going into hiding and then all of a sudden he's a boxer.
Felt like there was a little bit more of like self-awareness and understanding and like growth from Jeffrey as a human being.
You guys, can you believe we have real emotions and we're talking about real shit
This
right
is
now?
boring. Do you guys like episodes like this where we just genuinely share our feelings about a piece of art that we've consumed together?
Leave a constructive comment below.
Okay, but here's internet reactions to Jeffrey's docu-series. A lot of people don't realize that Jeffrey is not afraid of working hard. You don't get that much income from being lazy. Even with all the controversy, you have to give Jeffrey credit where credit is due.
That is true, and this is coming from a very like self-assured woman, classic beauty over 50.
I mean,
who says you should celebrate confidence.
I mean, we can all take a note from classic beauty over 50.
The way everything is so dramatic and there's so much suspense, and then Jeffrey opens the door with a can of Red Bull.
Ah, see, I like
That's
that.
you. What if you're Jeffree Star for Halloween and I'm Graveyard Girl?
Okay.
All right, Jeffrey should get better hangers for his closet. I was really surprised to see so many mismatched hangers, including some wire hangers, mommy dearest over here,
Wow.
for his beautiful, expensive collection of clothes. Joan Crawford is probably rolling in her grave, lol.
Wow.
Is this classic beauty over 50's second account?
Yes. This is her. David Beckham chiming in. He says,
Wow.
I wish I could wash his ass for money. All right. I guess Man U isn't paying as much as they used to.
Right? What does Posh have to say about that? Victoria, give him a wad of cash. Regardless, if you love the docs, you hate the docs, you're neutral about them, they definitely take a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see that it is emotionally draining on Shane.
Yeah, he's putting a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this, which I appreciate as someone that's been on YouTube for so long and constantly like trying to reinvent himself and figure out what makes him happy while creating content that's interesting and new and important, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I give him huge credit, but that is exhausting.
It is exhausting, and Grace and I know that firsthand.
Yeah.
Because what you guys might not know, which is crazy because you know most everything about us,
It's gonna be crazy.
is that we did our own documentary on a pretty controversial figure, and we kept it in the vaults. We
We
thought
didn't even know if we wanted to publish it because it's crazy.
and it's really controversial. So we are going to actually debut it right here for you right now.
I don't even know why we
It's crazy.
got in over our heads, and
So,
it's crazy.
Check it out. Like, I've never covered anything like this before. This is so crazy.
Crazier than the time that you drank Red Bull and Robitussin and locked yourself in the anthropology dressing room.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
This is crazy. Go now. Go now. Now's your chance. She said yes to this. She
okay.
agreed. She sent you a voice text.
Beanz, were you aware that BeanzCon was going to be a disaster and you did nothing to prevent that?
Oh my God, this is
Beanz, is it true that you are worth $125 million?
She's not giving me anything. It's crazy. Keep going. It's crazy.
Freaking out right now.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. This is crazy.
She won't even talk to me. This is so crazy.
I know. For
Can we
real?
go get some in and out?
I feel crazy. Yes.
crazy.
I want a stress heat.
She's been by my side for years, and yet she remains a total mystery. Well, that ends today, because I am turning the camera on her. Beanz. Beanz, where is the money?
Do you have any remorse? They were sunburned, Beanz. You sat in there eating treats at the Studio 71 party. Where's the money, Beanz?
There's so much more to this.
We should do 8 more episodes.
Yeah.
Do you think that the person that you show online is who you really are? Are you scared, like, if you show who you are, that people won't like you? Will you like you? Oh my God, I'm gonna like cry.
I know.
I think that's enough for today.
Okay.
Can we go get in and out?
Yeah. So what did you learn?
That Beanz is cute as a button, and documentaries are hard.
This is so crazy.
This is 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 crazy.
You know what crazy is? This.
Es es loco.
Translate.
This is crazy.
This is crazy.
This.
See.
5 letters.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Today's gratitude problem is from Psycho Sylvester. They said, I don't do caricatures, but I tried. Hashtag this might get. Look at that.
My bangs have never looked better.
Truly, and I have never had more cat eyes than in this caricature. Thank you.
Wow, thanks, Psycho Sylvester. And you guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we have 2 episodes on IGTV every Tuesday and Thursday. So come hang out for this wild ride.
Now it's time to get back into that doc-series.
I know.
He's probably uploaded 12 more episodes in the time that we've been gratituding.
Oh my God.